Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here, ready to continue in my latest playthrough of Ultimate General Civil War. This is the Confederate No Infantry Campaign Challenge, where I use no line infantry units, only skirmishers, artillery, and mounted units. We're on to one of the toughest battles of the campaign, and that's the Battle of Chickamauga. I don't have my force as maxed out as I could. I could actually take 30 brigades in each of my two corps. I've chosen to go with what I have, plus a couple of extra units. And we just got to finish maxing out a couple of these skirmisher units to their full strength. And it looks like we're pretty well where we want to be. I've been making my cavalry 1500, my melee cav, with the idea that I know I'll be able to replenish some of these units after the first day of the fighting. So I have saved some money and still have a bunch of available recruits, which actually have pretty good quality to them, these recruits. So when I add them to units, we're not taking a huge drop in the experience for those particular units. And I have a ton of these captured weapons that I have actually sold some of. These 1863s that I had, these 1861s right here, I had about 14,000 of them, and I sold 6,000 and got over 100,000 in money for those. You can see I get $16 per unit by selling those back. So that adds up quick. Even just selling 2,000 of them gets me 32,000 in available money. So that's why I've got that extra money there, which a lot of that's going to go to replenishing my supplies after the first day's fight. But I think we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and dive in. I really have no idea what I'll be facing on the first main day of the battle, because we really, on the first day, find ourselves facing just a fraction of the Union Army. So I expect to face a pretty substantial force when we get into this thing full bore. So we'll play through as much as we can here on the first day, knowing that eventually this will probably end up being a two-part series. So let me go ahead, and that's a lot of artillery. I think I might want to change this up a little bit. It looks like I forgot to add some of what I needed to Anzac diggers, but we're going to take 3 units of long-range artillery plus 1 unit of fresh Napoleons, just so I have something for that up close if needed, that I don't need to worry about losing if I get them too close. Otherwise, we're going to bring all of our guns right up into here and see if we can just pummel the defenses into submission. But I decided to only bring 2 units of sharpshooters because I wanted to have a couple of 1,000-man units in case he sees the sharpshooters and decides, you know what, I just think I'll charge right across this bridge. Now, beyond that, I have no control over what comes next, so I don't know what's going to show up across the river up here. It's going to take a while to get these guns into position, so we can speed things along a little bit here. You can see we're going to be facing 3-star units all around at this point in the war. 3-star artillery, 3-star entrenched units there. So we're definitely going to want to get the guns up and firing on that 3-star artillery to neutralize him just as quickly as possible. Hopefully we can get his artillery firing on these skirmisher units. They're kind of my cannon fodder, unfortunately, for this battle. But we're going to have 3 long-range artillery units to pretty quickly deal with Lily. Am I really not in range? I may not be in range for myself either at that point. Alright, let's scoot up just a hair. Now we can start firing on him without any fear of reprisal, at least not from that unit. Okay, and that gets my artillery just in range. Probably need the Anzac diggers to be every bit that close. Siege guns probably have a little longer range. But this is pretty nice because he has no ability to hit me whatsoever. And you can see I'm not getting a lot of kills. You know, full volley's only taking maybe 11 men. So maybe if we scoot just a little bit closer, but you know, we're at range and we're dealing with pretty strong defenses there. However, that 76 men on the first fire. So Lily's going to be gone pretty quickly, I would guess. Keep those guns hot and firing, full of ammunition. Oh yeah, Lily is just about toast already. Now these Napoleons, on the other hand, are going to have to get up close. And it looks like we already neutralized his battery. So now we have fire superiority with the artillery. And there's not a darn thing he can do about it. He can't inflict a single casualty on me. Anybody. All he can do is sit there and die. This is great. This is what you always hope for with a situation like this. Now eventually we are going to have to cross. There's no hurry on that whatsoever. I'm just going to keep doing this for a while. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it either, dude. Let's move those Napoleons up. Now these guys are going to come back. We may be able to completely eliminate a few of these units. Oh, we got melee cav coming out first. See, I told you I had no idea what I would have coming across that bridge. It's just really kind of random what it selects, and melee cav was probably not the most ideal first unit to cross. Let's see what's happening down here. Yeah, we may actually get to eliminate a few of these units. That would be amazing. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys up so they're a little more in range. Alright, we got a 24-pounder unit. O'Hare's Ohio Outlaws coming through. Let's get them set up as close to the bridge as possible. We've got to get these units across. Oh, Meredith. What a bad situation to lead with the cavalry. As long as we can get a little bit of room here to set up those 24-pounders. I love those siege guns. I wish I could get some more of them. Back here. There we go. We're starting to push him out now. Oh, Meredith's going to retreat across this way. That's fine. Get him to some safety. And now we got room to set up our 24-pounders. We'll just kind of sit tight here for now. I wonder if Minty's going to try to come across. If so, we'll move Stewart up. Look at the numbers so far. So we've inflicted 3,000 casualties already. I've lost 200 men, probably all of it. Yeah, right there, 191 men. It's all been in Meredith's unit right there. And we're going to completely wipe out some 3-star units, which is really going to help for later in the battle because they will no longer be available. What did we secure? Oh, we secured this objective here because he fell back. Alright, let's bring Meredith across. He's only at 28% morale, so we're going to need some time there to let him restore, recover a little bit. Up. Not quite ready to cross the river yet. There's no reason to. Bring the sharpshooters around. Oh, Braxton, sit tight. Getting some reinforcements. Not sure where from yet. Just saw the number go up. Actually, that may have just been because I wiped out a unit. Not because I got reinforcements. Nope, it is reinforcements. They just took a little while to appear. Surprise, surprise. Actually, I'll send these sharpshooters up here. We'll send them both up there. We need a little more help up on that side anyway. Oh, Wilcox is breaking. Alright, we need to clear these last two. I don't want to have any opposition firing at me when I cross the bridge. There's no reason to. Oh, there comes some artillery. Contest my crossing. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We'll bring the guns to here for now. Alright, let's clear these guys out. We've got an hour and 10 minutes to get across and take that objective. May not have sufficiently dealt with them before I have to cross. Send Lauman up here. Get these guys going this way. Oh, Wilcox, you're just having a rough day, aren't you? Now we're going to send the melee cav that way to try to deal with some of these units as they break. And then we'll get the artillery up here and then they can start hitting him. Shattered one 3-star unit there. About to shatter another. Beautiful. Oh, that was a lot of men at one time. I want to try and pursue those guys, but the problem is they're going to be in the woods. Try to hit him anyway. I'm gonna hit that artillery. Oh boy, yikes. Maybe not. See what's happening down here. Alright, I think it's probably time. Okay, I've secured the objectives. I'm having a little trouble getting my other artillery unit across. Oh boy, look at this. Alright, this is a problem. He sent a big mounted infantry unit this way, and I've got artillery in danger. Oh, darn it. I don't like this at all. Gotta throw them back. Allow and hold tight there. I think we'll be okay. Holding Braxton up here. Hit him. Yeah, our covering condition's not great for melee right now. Seems to be working. Alright, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, make it easier to kind of get the lay of the land. We actually have the numbers now. Inflicted 4,000 casualties. We lost about 800 men. Most of that up here. Hexamer, he's been with me since the beginning. This guy was just wounded. Alright, let's get Meredith out of there now that he routed those guys. Considering Braxton just broke. Okay, we've got both objectives, so it's probably going to trigger the next phase here in a minute. See if we can finish these guys off real quick. Bye-bye. Oh, he just charged right in over there. Beautiful. O'Hare's Ohio Outlaws. Nice job on that 3-star unit. See if we can hit that artillery. Oh, they're taking some casualties too. Oh, poor Meredith. He just had a rough time since the beginning. Get these sharpshooters replenished before the next phase of the battle, for sure. Oh, nice. We wiped out that unit just before that phase of the battle ended. Okay, so now we have the new objectives. We've got 3 hours to get them. We're going to get a bunch more reinforcements. We're actually set up pretty good. We've just got to be careful not to lose too many men from these skirmishers. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Braxton down here. And we're going to just kind of sit tight here because there's nothing further to be gained. And what we need to do now is we need to take these reinforcements forward. We need to start moving. Actually, we're going to hold these 2 units right there, I think. Hold the 12-pounders there. Hold one of these sharpshooter. We're going to take both sharpshooter units down to the other objectives. I could honestly probably push this forward, but I don't want to get into a problem situation there. So I think I would just rather take new units and use my artillery. Normally what I do, I'm kind of talking out loud here, thinking out loud. Normally what I do here is once I've crossed here, I push down this way so that I can attack these guys from the rear, because these are difficult spots to dislodge. But I feel like the power of the artillery and the skirmishers that I have, I don't need to do that. I can go with a more kind of frontal strategy, just not with these guys. We'll need the skirmishers. So we're going to take all of this down to here, and then I'll get it all organized. I think with the exception of, we'll keep Anzac diggers, because I'd like to have at least one other artillery unit, because he is going to make a push with these two big mounted infantry units here, and that could be a concern for me. So we'll kind of pull back a little bit. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, see, that's what I was worried about. Ouch. Okay. And now these 24-pounders are kind of exposed out here. I think we'll get even more reinforcements before too long down here. Alright, we wiped that guy out. Artillery should be enough to offer protection here. Sending more up this way. Oh man, they've got Spencer repeating rifles. That's why they're doing so much damage to these units. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull back to these woods. Although I gotta protect the artillery while I do that. It looks like he's giving up on this spot here. Gotta get these big guns down here. It's gonna take a little while. Maybe we'll set them up right here. We've got 2 hours and 46 minutes to take these two objectives and hold the rest. We're already driving him off. Once we get the big guns, it'll go even better. We'll go ahead and speed things along a little bit. We can bring the Anzac diggers down too. I'm gonna pull Stewart back. I want the protection of those 12-pounders. Quite sure what he's doing over here except riding around. Oh, more reinforcements. There we go. He still got me by about 5,500 men. my big guns are starting to get into position. He's pulling everybody back. So we'll start moving these guys up. I'm going to send these sharpshooters back over here. I just want somebody in front of those guns. More artillery. Oh, fresh units coming in. See how hard it is? I've got 3,000 men firing on him plus artillery, and it's barely making a dent. That's how tough that position is. Oh, we've got some counter battery fire here, man. We'll make quick work of Stokes. And the last battery's not in range. That's right, these two will be plenty enough to deal with that. Man, he is lighting up the anti-diggers. That's right, he's not going to last long. Oh, look at you. He just snuck in behind me and hit those Napoleons. Good thing I moved my heavy guns out of there. Alright, we wiped out those guns. Let's get across. She's coming at me with two different units. Sticks us. See, those 12-pounders were kind of expendable anyway. It was a brand new unit. I wasn't too worried about them. He's sending a lot of men toward this objective. I'm going to have to counter that. I'm going to send these skirmishers up here. I gotta be careful though, because there's a big unit roaming around somewhere. We'll send Elder up there too. It's gonna take a while to get them back in that direction. Oh, hello. More men over here than I realized. He does have men here too. Ooh, Sam's got lit up. Sorry, more artillery coming. So he'll have to pull further back. What's going on over here? Oh, hello. That's why I sent Elder. I was afraid of that. No worry, Woods. Got a bunch of artillery cover coming your way. So he basically, what he did was he just gave up on this position altogether, sent his units south, and that's why we're starting to see all these units gathering here. I should be able to be free to move the 95th Rifles over because I'm sending these units up on this side. And Elder should be able to deal with any of that. I'm a little worried if he sends that unit over into these guns. woods is breaking, but I've got all my artillery in position now. I'm not quite ready to cross there yet. See, all these guys, a lot of these units have repeating rifles, so they're much more destructive than a normal 600 or 700 man unit would be. Elders is basically going to watch this guy over here. All right, we've got one objective left to secure. I expect it to be the toughest one just because everybody's breaking this way. I'm not about to march these guys right through this skirmisher unit at the moment. Sending a lot of units this way. Not sure that I've got a sufficient amount of men to deal with it, and I may have to send help. But help's got a long way to go to get there. There may be other units in the path that I'm not seeing. Oh, hello. He just snuck right past me. Getting at my Napoleons again. We'll talk a little about the historic Battle of Chickamauga when we get to the main phase of the battle, which will be in part 2 of this video. Because this is really all just the preliminary. We'll get a sense of what the full armies are going to look like, and then in part 2 we can talk about the historic battle, because it was a really interesting battle. A unique battlefield in terms of the terrain, the difficulties in being able to see anything more than the men that were directly in front of you. And huge mistakes were made because of that. They really changed the whole nature of the battle. Oh, hello. That guy got back into there. He may just hold it. That's a tough objective to break somebody out of. It looks like we got him. Oh, not only did we get him, he surrendered. Beautiful. Now we've just got to get across and hold it. I don't know if this will trigger the next phase when that contested timer ticks down or not. It's been a while since I played it. I don't really remember. Oh, Meredith, you just had a rough day, haven't you? I know I've said that before. guess we'll find out here in a minute what happens when that timer ticks down. We've got just a couple of minutes left on it. All right, we go to the next day. Let's go ahead and head back to camp and take a look at the armies. Okay, so this is what the main battle is going to look like. 56,000 men, 155 guns for him. 40,000 men, 192 guns for me. I feel pretty comfortable with that. That's one of the better margins I've had for a big battle. The tricky part about this one is you just never know where somebody's going to show up and you weren't expecting them. So it requires a lot of micromanaging, a lot of careful attention to detail, which I'm not always good at. So this is a bad battle for my style. And it's a bad battle for an army that relies heavily on artillery when there's a lot of protection in the trees. So we'll find out. Come on back and join me tomorrow as we get to the final episode of CHICKAMAUGA, the second half of the battle. Let me know your thoughts about what you think my strategy should be in this main battle, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching.